All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Pittsburgh Steelers rookie defensive lineman Yahyah Black, and I tell you what, folks, Black showed up in a big way for the Steelers defense. Not a great day for the Steelers defense as a whole, but I tell you what, Black as a young rookie showcased a lot of potential, liked a lot of what he did specifically, and we'll break down everything he did in the context of an average Steelers defensive performance. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback you might have. If you're interested in supporting us with more of these film reviews, if you like our film reviews, consider becoming a member of this channel. There's a link in the description box below. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up with a run defense, and there's Black right there, number 94. He's lined up in a 2-eye on the inside eye of that guard right there. And what we're going to get here from the New York Jets is an inside zone concept. So they're going to bring a man in motion this way at the snap to kind of lead the way right here with Garrett Wilson, their wide receiver. We're going to get a zone double team between the tackle right here and the guard on this defensive lineman, working up to the next level, which means this center right here is going to be one-on-one on Yahyah Black. You can see Yahyah Black, he's lined up in the 2-eye, but he's kind of at a cocked angle right here. He's a really hardcore A-gap defender. So let me clean up the screen for you guys there. So the center feels, because he's going to be this way in this gap, that he can reach him. He's proven wrong. The young defender right there does a nice job, makes a play. Let's check it out. All right, there's motion. All right, there's a snap. There's the inside zone track. 94, beats the center, makes a tackle. Good play. Let's go back to the very beginning. Let's look at this across the board. Again, you can see tight end, wide receiver. Highsmith does a really nice job, 56. Good job there. So on double team, they get on Hayward, and they kind of move Hayward out of the way a little bit. Hayward gets kind of pancaked there. That's not great. But the rest of the defense, solid job. Let's look at Black right here, the rookie. Gets into the center and right away diagnoses what's happening. You can see that extension. This is a really tough situation for any center. I'm going to be totally honest. You have to go laterally and then trying to square up. So you get blown in the backfield a lot. But Yahyah Black, this is an opportunity for defensive tackles to make this kind of play. I guarantee you the Jets call this play and they probably expected, hey, listen, we got a rookie defensive tackle there. He's not going to be able to make this play in this kind of situation. But Black proved them wrong. He bullies the center, beats him across the face, showcases the athleticism too. Right here, gets horizontal, helps become part of the tackle. Again, Highsmith is there to make the play, so it's kind of not going to be a chance right there for the New York Jets. But if you can imagine Highsmith being blocked and this running back can kind of follow, I think that's 76 for New York right there, Black is the guy preventing a touchdown. Instead, 94 is right there to make the play. Really good job being the center. Nice rep from the rookie. All right, let's look at it from the wide cop. You can see the motion across the screen. Let's look at 94. Drives the center back. Great extension. Makes a tackle. This is going to be a common theme, but look at the contact, right? So we're face mask to face mask. Now watch Yahyah Black right there extend. Boom, look at that. It's like a one-handed bench press and just moves the offensive lineman back, right? They're head-to-head battle, but when Black extends, the only person that moves is the center. You're talking about resetting the line of scrimmage. It's at the 5-yard line. Look where he walks the center back to, right? The 7.5. Like I said before, this is a tough block for the center, right? You got to go horizontally, which means you're going to give up ground. But 94 does a really good job. New number, by the way. Good to see it from the rookie here. Getting I think 78 was okay during the preseason, but good to see him at 94 in the regular season. I think that number suits him just a little bit better. But here the rookie does a great job beating the center, making the tackle. Really nice play. All right, sticking with some run defense, there's Black right there on the right side of your screen. He's lined up in a 4-eye technique on the inside eye of the tackle right here. It's an old school 3-4, right? You got 3 down defensive linemen, 3 linebackers right there. I mean, this is old school Steelers 3-4 football, guys. What more could you ask for? And when you run a 3-4 defense, a lot of times you like to slant, and that's what the Steelers do here. They slant all the defensive linemen right there, a gap to the right side of your screen, the left side of the defense. So what happens here with the New York Jets, however, is they call an inside zone run concept working this direction to the offensive left. So the left tackle picks up that guy, left guard picks up that guy, center works over here, guard works over here. This tackle right here takes into this gap, and he's here to help peel back and secure the backside if need be. And this is a chance to be a little play right here because they get to do a good job inside. But let's watch Black right here. He does his slant, but showcases his athleticism, guys. Talk about being a good athlete. He turns the corner and makes the play. Really nice rep. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the slant. Black goes around, helps make the tackle. Let's go back to the very beginning, guys. You're talking about being a good athlete. Now, he's a big man, right? He does his slant, works his way around, lays out, and helps make the play. Look at this effort. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but this is really hard. And by structure, by design, the offense says, listen, there's not going to be a run-stuffing defensive tackle, 3-4 defensive end in this case, that can work around this way and be part of the tackle, right? He'll be somewhere around the play here, but he can't make the tackle. That's by design. That's by structure. You can see number 70, right? The way he's blocking and playing it, see how he's working upfield a little bit? He's saying, listen, I don't think you're a good enough athlete, dude. I don't think there's anyone that's good enough athlete that can come around like that. Yahyah Black proves him wrong. You can see the Steelers, again, do a pretty good job in terms of fighting off blocks here at the nose guard position. Who is that? Benton. I think he had a rough game. I can't see exactly who that is right there. He did not have a great game. Steelers didn't play well against the run in general, but I think Black was an exception. This is sometimes what can happen. You can do your job in the run defense game, and we'll show more of it going forward, and your teammates can let you down. But right here, 94, the rookie, makes a really nice play. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Black right there. He's going to slant away from us right here with the motion, then work behind, lay out, become part of the tackle. Effort, too. That's one of the things I like to see, especially from young guys getting opportunities because of some injuries and things like that. How about high-level effort, high-level motor? We saw that with Black the entire preseason, but after guys make the team, sometimes they have a funny little thing happens. They let off the gas a little bit, or they ran out of gas, right? Just going 180 miles an hour all training camp and preseason to make the team. Not seeing that with this young defensive lineman. Keeps his motor running. Good play. All right, sticking with the run defense, you can see Black right there lined up in what I'm going to call a one technique on the outside shoulder of the center right there. Even though he's more lined up in this gap, maybe a 2-eye. Some people would call that maybe a 2-eye. I think by his angle, I'm going to say he's a one technique just by how he's cocked and aiming right at the center there. And right here, what the New York Jets are going to try and do is a kind of zone read concept. They're going to have the tight end flare out right here to kind of clear up the picture. And everyone else is going to take this track right here. We're going to get double team right here, working up to the next level. We're going to get double team right here, working up to the next level. And they're going to read TJ Watt right here. And if Watt stays wide, they're going to hand it off inside. If Watt fires down inside, they're going to keep it outside, and the running back's going to follow his tight end, right? Standard zone read kind of stuff. This is what happens when you have Fields as a quarterback. Steelers fans, you know all about that, of course. Now, here's an interesting situation. When you're in a cocked one technique like this, and they go in for a double team, you're in a great chance here to blow it up completely, and that's what exactly happens here with Yahyah Black, but he also goes above and beyond. He makes a play as well. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You see a tight end work out. Zone read, give inside, nowhere to run, good defensive play. Let's look at this defensive line across the board, right? Defensive end, who's at Highsmith, or I think that's Highsmith right there, works upfield, kind of runs himself out of the play. Don't like that, but it's what happens. Double team right there on Black. They're trying to get movement here. They're trying to get some dislocation. I'll tell you what, guys, look at this left guard right here for New York Jets. Is that any movement? I mean, it looks like he hits Black and like bounces off, right? That's pretty funny, right? That's a stout dude, Yahyah Black, when you go in for a double team and no movement happens. Compare what happens with that double team with what happens right here between the right guard and right tackle. You see how that guy gets walled back, was about 4 yards, 92? Not great there in terms of giving up some ground. Yahyah Black, he does his job. No movement there, fights off the center, makes a tackle. You can see they're reading TJ Watt, and Watt, I mean, he's so good. He kind of plays it both, because right here, if you're the quarterback, you cannot pull this, because Watt's going to bring you down for a 6-yard loss. But he's still close enough and has enough length to go inside and make the play too. Such a good player. But Yahyah Black doing a good job, holding his gap. See how he's got his gap, his body's in the right position, and then right when he sees the running back cut, sheds the blocker. Nice play. After the wide copy, get a really good look. See how he's cocked like that? And when the double team happens, no movement, is able to shut off and make the tackle. This is really, really good stuff. And you can see the zone read concept right here. They're trying to see if they can force TJ Watt to make a mistake and go inside, so then the quarterback can get outside where they have blockers in space. But Watt's so good. I mean, he's such a good player. Even as he gets older and some injury concerns, rear its ugly head, it happens. He's still so good at this kind of play. Just good, fundamentally sound. But you need guys on the play side that do their job too. And I tell you what, for a rookie, you get a really good performer. Nice play here by Black. All right, we're going to get another zone read concept here, and I don't know if it's by design or not, but Justin Fields keeps it around the edge just like this. And I think what happens here is the Steelers, they have TJ Watt. See how far inside he's lined up? He actually slants inside right here, and that makes it an easy pull read, gets the quarterback on the edge. But I want to focus on Black here real quickly, looking at his position, his alignment. He's lined up in a 4-eye technique. His gap, you can see very clearly, is this B gap right here. When this guard comes out to reach him, he does not know it's a pull read or it's a design quarterback run this way. As far as he knows, it's an outside run here, but he shows great technique, great job. I mean, you don't really see this on the broadcast because it didn't affect the play, but he does a phenomenal job setting the edge. Let's check this out. There's a snap, pull read, Fields on the outside, turns into a pretty nice play. Like, Justin Fields is a good athlete, right? I mean, Steelers fans, you guys know that too, of course. Let's look at Black right here. Engages with the guard, shock, shed, gets away. Very good technique. You can see how he keeps his feet, shoulders, hips, everything parallel to the line of scrimmage. Doesn't get blown off the football. Again, look at the movement he surrenders versus the rest of the defensive line, right? You can see, who's this, number 95, I think, getting blown back. Now it's a double team, but you still don't like to see that. Black, one-on-one, maintains his gap. Look right there. We see both these guys here. That's really good run defense on the play side right there. Now, look, I know it's a pull read, by the quarterback, and it ends up not having any effect on the play whatsoever, but still, good technique leads to success in the future. Really nice to see this from the rookie. All right, real quick from the wide copy, you see Black right there. Hand-to-hand combat, shed, really good stuff. You'll notice the bench press, right? Right here. Face mask to face mask. The extension, who goes back? The offensive lineman goes back, and then right there, Black's able to dish rag him like he's nothing. Again, good technique. No effect on the play, of course. Quarterback's completely on their side of the field. But when you have good technique like this on the play side, doing your job, setting the edge, and then being able to beat the offensive lineman, that will lead to a lot of success in the future. All right, quick break in the film review. Look, I was taught to break down film by my college coaches at the Division I level. All the players are. It's just a fact of playing football at that level. And I want to take this opportunity to give you guys, the average fan, more opportunities to get that insider knowledge of how the game is taught at that highest level of college football. I created a checklist, a step-by-step guide for you guys, 100% free. That's based on how I was taught to break down film by my coaches and that I use today to create these film reviews. There's a link in the description box below that'll take you right to it. I really appreciate it if you guys decide to get it. Again, 100% free, just trying to share information to you guys, stuff that was taught to me by my coaches. But without further ado, let's get back into the film. So a big part of playing run defense, and you're going to see this with Black lined up right there this time once again in a 4-eye technique, is occupying blockers so that way your linebackers can make plays, right? That's what it's all about. Defensive linemen, good defensive linemen, they occupy space, they occupy linemen, so that way these guys with the smaller numbers can make all kind of tackles, right? That's how it works. That's how it's always worked in the National Football League. And Yahyah Black in this situation, we're going to get another stunt. So defensive line is going to work this way, just like this. So we're going to end up getting two guys on Black right here. We're going to get the guard right here and the center on here. Now, normally this would be a zone double team, working up to the linebacker, number 41, Wilson right there. But Black does a good job holding his ground, basically occupying both of these guys. 41 goes unblocked. Really good team effort here. Again, this is what you want to see from a rookie. Can you be a good team defender doing your job? Black certainly can and does. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. There's a double team. Wilson goes unblocked. Doesn't make the play. Running back does a decent little job escaping. Turns it into a nice little run. Let's go back to the very beginning and look at 94 right here. Again, you're talking about taking on two blockers. How much ground does he give up, guys? None. We saw double teams earlier where people are giving up ground. In fact, you can argue right here that he's giving up as much ground with two guys on him as right there 95 and 92 are with one. Really good stuff here. Stout inside. Love to see it. Uses his hands well. You know, kind of an awkward little stance at times, but I tell you what, he is a powerful joker inside. And you can see this tackle. He's trying to work through to get up to the next level, but he can't. Part of it is, of course, because the Steelers slant by scheme. They have 56 work inside and becomes a mash of humanity. But part of it is also because Yahyah Black gets his hands on him and he just gets caught in there and just so strong, holds him up. I tell you what, people talk about defensive holding at defensive line. This is the legal way to do it. You grab inside, don't let him engage. By the time he tries to, you're already on the next offensive lineman. Really good team play there by Yahyah Black. And I tell you what, you got to get the running back on the ground there. Don't like to see that from the Steelers. But in terms of stopping the run, doing your job on the defensive front, this is exactly what you want to see from the rookie. Now from the wide copy, you see Yahyah Black at the top of your screen. Take on two blockers. Wilson goes unblocked. Overruns the play. Can't quite make the tackle there. But again, 94, going back to the very beginning, doing his job, holding his gap, taking up two guys. That's exactly what you want to do. He's not giving up any ground, right? Holding his gap the entire way. It's kind of funny. Everyone's pursuing like a madman to get to the running back. But you look at this entire play. Watch 94 here the entire time. He just stays in his gap. I tell you what, he's fundamentally sound maybe to a fault right here. The entire time he's in his gap, while everyone's running around and diving at the running back like a madman. But I tell you what, Black, he does his job, and he does it well. All right, got kind of a weird play for you guys here, and there's Black right there, line up in a 4-eye technique on the inside eye of the tackle. So they're going to be a quarterback follow concept here. That's what the Jets are going to run. They're going to kind of fake it inside as everyone basically double teams and blocks down here across the board, and they're going to follow the running back this direction, quarterback will. So it's an old QB follow concept. See this a lot in the college football ranks, not so much in the National Football League. But defensively for the Steelers, it's kind of weird. It sort of looks like a slant this way from the defensive line, but not everybody does it. He doesn't slant, and then Yahyah Black tries to work back into this gap. The linebackers kind of step this way, which makes me think maybe it is a slant, the defensive lineman going the other way. It's a weird play. I chalked this up to week 1 stuff. It results in a bad play for the Steelers defense. Let's check it out. And I think this is something that needs to be cleaned up for them going forward. All right, there's a snap. There's a fake. Little quarterback follow. Fields turns into a good run. Again, going back to the very beginning, let's break this down exactly what's supposed to happen. It's very, very weird. So you can see, let me go back all the way. So you can see, watch Black and the nose guard right here. They all take a step to their left initially, but you can see this defensive tackle, defensive end, he goes to his right. You can see the linebackers. It's almost like, you see how this linebacker right here, Peyton Wilson, he kind of lines up right here in the C gap, and Yahyah Black's in the B gap. It almost like they switch at the snap, which makes me think it's supposed to be a stunt. But then why is, I think, Highsmith going inside right here? Is he just doing his own thing? It's just a weird play, guys. It's just a funky play. Now, from Yahyah Black's perspective, I'm just going to assume that he's supposed to have the C gap. He's supposed to have this gap. And right here, that can't happen, right? And this is one of the things that can happen every once in a while with Yahyah Black. One of his strengths, as I always say with any player, your strength can be your weakness. He's so stout and so low, he kind of gets caught over himself and falls and gets pinned inside. Now, again, again, maybe he actually did have the B gap and he is doing his job. I don't know. It's kind of a funky defensive play here for the Steelers. I'm not going to get too much into the particulars, but going forward, what we need to see more from Yahyah Black is keeping your feet a little bit more. I love his stout and his low pad levels outstanding, but every once in a while he'll lose his footing just a little bit, give up some leverage, something to work on going forward. All right, sticking with the run defense, you can see Black right there line up on the left side of your screen in a 4-eye technique. In the Steelers' traditional 3-4 alignment right here, you can see 3 defensive tackles, 4 linebackers, and actually have a safety lineup in the box there because you can see the Jets, they've got 1 tight end, 1 running back, a fullback, and a slot receiver lined up inside. So they got a lot of bodies inside. We're going to get an inside run here from the Jets. So we're going to get a base block here. We're going to get a base block here. We're going to get a zone double team here, working up to the next level. We're going to get a scoop technique here, trying to cut off this 4-eye technique for the Steelers, working up to the next level. We're going to get the fullback right here, picking him up, the tight end working out, and the wide receiver working around and inserting for the safety, and the running back just falling through just like this. This is a really good design by the Jets, I'm going to be totally honest, but very poorly defended here by the Steelers, specifically this nose guard. He gets completely blown out of the way. But I want you guys to watch Yahyah Black, and sometimes this can happen on run defenses. You can have one defender do his job and do it well, and his teammates let him down. So in this alignment, you can see his gap is right here. He's trying to set the edge, control his gap. He does a great job doing that, and he almost makes the play in terms of stopping the run, but there's so much garbage here with this nose tackle getting blown off the ball. He ends up on the ground. This is a really good job and a good effort from the rookie. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap, inside run, north and south, piles his way into the end zone. Not great run defense. Let's go back to the very beginning here. First of all, let's look at the nose guard, right? Gets bullied, gets walked back and put in the dirt. That's not great, right? They're running right behind you. Can't have that happen if you're going to be a run stuffer. Let's look at Yahyah Black. Remember, he has his B gap right here. Shocks right there. Look at that bench press. Again, a little higher than normal, but still blows the offensive lineman back. Again, look at where the Jets' offensive linemen are, and we'll look at the wide copy in a second. See how they're all getting movement downfield except for one, the guy who's blocking Yahyah Black. That should tell you something. So block engages right there, sees the running back run inside, lays out and tries to make the play, but he gets caught in the trash of his own defender getting pancaked in the ground, right? This is something where if you freeze the play right there, you'd say, oh, Yahyah Black get buried in the dirt, bad play by him. But he does his job. That's a good job right there. That's a really good job, and he's trying to fight off and make the tackle. And maybe he would have if this nose guard hadn't got buried in the dirt. And this is sometimes what can happen when you watch a broadcast footage and then you watch the All-22. You realize at first you're like, oh my goodness, the rookie, not a good play here. But you see the film like this and you're like, huh, really nice effort from 94 right there. All right, get a good look at it from the wide copy. Watch 94 again. Take on this guard and just shock him. There's a snap, boom, extension. Look at him resetting the line of scrimmage. Where was the ball snapped, guys? What, the 8, I think, right there? Where does this guard walk back to? The 10, so you can see a yard movement. Look at the Steelers line of scrimmage. Look at the dent in the defense. 95 walk back, heads up to the next level right there. They're dented the deep middle of the defense, the Jets did, except for Yahyah Black on this guy, and he tries to fight through and make the tackle, but he gets caught in the trash. That wasn't his fault. Again, he's got a bright future, right? This is a situation where it's not his fault, it's his buddy's fault. I think Yahyah Black is a really good run defender. I know he's getting a lot of playing time due to injuries and some things like that. Hayward, obviously working through his deal, not practicing, bringing him up fully up to speed. I understand, but I tell you what, we saw it in the preseason, Steelers fans, and I still think it's true today. Yahyah Black has a bright future.